Message today was about not just solidarity anymore. Solidarity is not enough. Action is needed. What type of action?
Coordinated efforts in line with our campaign for calling for maximum pressure on the one hand and also maximum support for Iran. That means that we need to have the world community back this expectation by pressing upon their decision makers and policy makers that this is really a way to solve the problem, which is the regime itself. We have to put an end to this regime. The solution is not by foreign warfare or intervention. It will be at the hand of the Iranian people. But the Iranian people so far have been fighting alone. They need much more support in order to prevail. We need to be able to organize campaigns. We need to be able to organize labor strikes in Iran, which is the quickest way to bring this regime down to paralysis. But as I said in my speech, one important component is also to maximize defections from the regime. So minimal resistance will be faced, the people will face in order to ultimately overcome. This has to be a coordinated effort, and in terms of policy and strategy by key governments. I think the role that America plays in this is critical. It goes without saying that the Israeli government has to be able to see eye to eye, and some key governments in the region, whether it's the Saudis or governments like the British government or the French government or the German government or the European Union. But as I said in my speech, it requires strong leadership, and this has been absent so far. If we get the proper leadership in place and coordination, I believe that we can succeed and prevail.
So much of what is being looked at right now is being looked at a micro level. It's Israel versus Hamas. It's the Houthis causing a problem. It's what's going on the northern border. So few diplomats and so few decision and policymakers want to talk about the broader issue, which is Iran itself. How do you get that message across that it needs to be looked at in a broader perspective?
You know, I remember saying in an interview more than 40 years ago when I was just starting, I don't remember which media it was, but I said, look, when you have a fire, you send and dispatch your fire trucks, and you may eventually extinguish those fires. But have you ever tried to find who is the arsonist? If you don't find the arsonist, or if you don't stop the arsonist, fires upon fires will be lit here, here, and here. Who has been lighting all these fires for decades? It's the regime in Tehran. So when you're fighting an octopus, it doesn't matter how many tentacles you fight. If you have to go for the eye of the octopus, and the eye of the octopus is sitting in Tehran, it's not sitting in Beirut, it's not sitting elsewhere. Now, if you understand that an end to all these problems, that resolves many problems at the same time, the nuclear threat, terrorism, financing of proxies, it's all connected to the regime in Tehran. The best solution is to put an end to it. Not because you ask for it, because first and foremost the Iranian people ask for it. I'm wearing this badge in support of the hostages, but let's not forget the first hostages have been millions of Iranians for 4 decades under this regime. We have to free them first, but a free Iran and Iranians who stand in solidarity with the free world, with the Israelis, are the answer to the problem, not this regime. So the only solution at the end is to put this regime to rest.
The day comes where Israelis and Iranians are able to speak freely. I mean, what would they talk about? What do you think would be the topics of conversation?
Joint venture, investments, developments, resources. Iran, on its path of reconstruction, needs all the best expertise, entrepreneurs, industries. One of the reasons I traveled to Israel last year was to, in fact, talk to the Israeli water experts, because we are facing a serious water crisis. We have to use the best technologies for agricultural issues, water desalination. There are so many things. That's just one item. There are so many other things in terms of technologies. And, we have very good scientists, and the natural relationship between two countries, Iran and Israel, is a huge strategic partnership in the region. Not just to the benefit of Iran and Israel, but I think for the whole region. We can all collectively benefit from this relationship, as opposed to running away from rockets and missiles and bombs exploding here and there. That's the difference.
Crown Prince, thank you for